So some of the work that I've been involved with over the years with exploring things like, I don't know if you come across the rapid testing work, the 100-day challenge stuff that lots of different areas are doing. It actually came from an organisation in the States, but Nesta have been backing it, and the NHS have had quite a strong interest in this. And so I trained as a coach, and I supported some of the kind of teams that work through the 100-day challenge process, which is really interesting in itself, actually, in terms of the relational element of what we're talking about. But at the end of this particular round of rapid testing, we were asked to draw an iceberg on a piece of flip chart paper.
Yeah.
And put a line across and talk about the tangible things that we had achieved. So the tip of the iceberg, if you like. What was it tangible that had made the difference or improved the experience for people, if you like? In this case, it was elective care in terms of NHS world. And then we were asked to focus on what sits under the surface of the water. What was it that happened within your team? And you're talking teams of diverse people, so clinicians, consultants, GPs, practice managers, patients, nurses, voluntary sector, a whole range of people who form these teams. What was it that happened under the surface of the water that enabled you to achieve those tangible things? And I thought, yes, great, at last, somebody's got it. They're understanding that what needs to happen here is that we need to focus on the conditions for change. And they then went on to say, because we want to scale the tip of the iceberg. I was just like, okay, you've just completely, done this potentially really great activity with us, and then totally undermined your own kind of thinking, if you like. Because if you take the tip of the iceberg away from what's happened under the surface of the water, then it will just drift off, or you're going to take it somewhere where the conditions are not right. So it got me thinking, okay, if I was going to kind of use that as an analogy or a way of describing co-production, what would that look like? And actually for me, I started with that bit under the surface of the water, if you like, being co-production, and the tip of the iceberg being those tangible things that happen. But over the last sort of year or so, and through some of the work that I've done with an organisation called People's Voice Media, and the conversation that I've had with Hayley, which were really instrumental in shaping this, realised that actually what we need to do is focus on how we co-create the right conditions in order that co-production happens.
Got it.
So the tip of the iceberg becomes co-production, and you can't do co-production unless the conditions are right, unless the relationships are there, unless we have those human-to-human interactions, that we challenge each other, that we're willing to fail, make mistakes, test different ways of working, have fun even. It's like see the person, it just shifts the whole kind of conversation and dynamic about what co-production is, and it just seemed to resonate and make sense. So as I've kind of talked about the iceberg in lots of different settings over the last few years, it's kind of iterated for me. Who knows what will happen next?